What up, what up, what up? It's your boy, All the Dialogue. I got a special guest on the line. So if you don't mind, introduce yourself to the people.
Okay, my name is G, aka Garie Adamson from 100 Miles Brand.
So take me through the process. You deciding you wanted to make a clothing line and some of the things you had to overcome.
Well, it started in the early 90s, so back then there wasn't no social media, so everything was kind of word of mouth or, let's say not so graphic flyers. So the idea came to me, and then it was a matter of, trying to get the people to know about it. So the only ways that I knew was, through the music I loved, that being hip hop, and then television. So those were like the avenues that we went through. Some of the obstacles that I faced along the way were, obviously being my skin color and being young at that was very much a challenge in itself, right? Some other obstacles I would say that I came into is just sometimes, assuming people were on my side when they're really just trying to, acquire some of my information or knowledge base so that they could further their bigger brands, or let's say their ventures, let's say. So those are some of the difficulties that I faced.
What was the inspiration behind the name?
100 miles symbolizes us as people. I felt that we as people, we've come 100 miles, but we still got 100 miles to go in everyday life. So it was like a hypothetical speed that we as people have come, but we still have to go.
What was your first big break with 100 Miles brand?
Oh, that's a good question. I would say my very first big break would have been Kid and Play. Just meeting Kid and Play, that opened me up to, seeing that, I could actually be with the like, I was a fan, so actually like meeting my like peers or, people that I inspired to be like. So I'd say definitely Kid and Play.
What was your relationship with Biggie? Because if I'm not mistaken, he was one of the people that was giving your clothing line an opportunity, right? When nobody else would.
Biggie, I would say just as much as Pac, a huge, huge, huge inspiration to me, because he's the one that kind of opened my eyes and let me see that, what I was doing was special, and that, at the point in time he had some, let's say, record execs, and the record execs were down with, let's say, our competition, and they didn't want Biggie to come to our store, and Biggie was like, regardless of whatever, I'm going to find 100 Miles, and he did it on his own while they followed, right? And I saw it in their faces that they weren't too happy that he found me, and him in meeting me, it was at the time Pac was wearing me, so I thought, oh man, this is not going to be good. But he's like, no, man, G, it's all love. And at the same time, he showed me that, he was a fan of mine. And I was like, word? Like, you're a fan of mine? When, like, really and truly, I'm a fan of yours. So it was kind of like this total mutual love and respect. And, him giving me his number and saying, yo, call me at any time for anything, that just showed me how real he was, you know what I mean? And a total inspiration to my career today.
Right. But speaking of Tupac, how did that come about? Tupac ran your clothing line in Above the Rim.
Well, it was friends of mine at the time were working on the set, and they knew about me, and they wanted to present my brand to Pac. But so at the time when they called me, I was kind of like, nah, man, I ain't sending you guys nothing. I don't care about no movie. I'm dealing with EPMD on the next line. And they consistently kept calling me till, like, I was ignoring them till the point where I was hanging up on them. And then they got the producer of the movie, or like another person on the movie set, to call me and say, young man, this is the opportunity of a lifetime. So I said, all right, let me get together some stuff and then I'll send it to them. So I sent them like whatever. And then when they presented it to Pac just asked, is this from a black man? And they said yes. And then he automatically put it on. And the rest is history.
How did it feel when you first seen Tupac wearing your hoodie in Above the Rim?
You lose a breath. You know what I mean? That was like the feeling that I had. My heart skipped a beat. And I was very, very spiritual at that particular moment, and thankful for just having seen my brand now on the big screen, where I never ever envisioned my brand ever. You know what I mean? at a young age. So, God rest his soul. Like the love that he's given to me has been, everlasting and immortal to this day.
I can only imagine the level that took your clothing line to.
We're still at that level. You know what I'm saying? Like it never ends with the greats of Tupac and Biggie and now Drake. You know what I mean? So it's levels. Also Big L. Like there's so many different names that we can name, but those are some of the key names that have passed that have really blessed the brand.
Speaking of Drake, recently you had a pretty big moment with your brand with Drake pretty much wearing the same hoodie Tupac wore in Above the Rim, right? It looked like he was doing that in honor of Tupac outfit in Above the Rim.
Well, that was kind of crazy in itself because we had seen an order come on our online, and at that particular moment, I saw the order the night, let's say a Tuesday night or even a Wednesday night, and then in the morning I'm like, yeah, I'm looking at this order, but at the same time I'm looking at an email saying, hey, we're with Drake, and we is there any way that you could get this to us as soon as possible? And I'm like saying to my assistant, yeah, right, Drake, whatever. These people are saying they're with Drake, and so I said the least I want to do is I want to get it to them, and so I got it to them the same day, and they like. I assured them that they got it, and then, I was resting at the moment that the game was on because I have this phobia of if I watch, they're going to lose, and and if I don't, they'll win. And I was just seeing, like, my phone blow up, like, my online was starting to, like, go crazy, and then, people telling me to put it on the game, and then I'm like, holy smokes, it's happened again, like that whole feeling in my heart, like, you know what I mean? Like, is this actually happening again? And, the rest is what it is right now.
How did it feel when you seen Drake with your hoodie on?
Like, the same way it felt with Pac, just like, speechless, just like honored. I felt humbled. I felt grateful. You know what I mean? All in one and happy. Like, there's just this so much different feeling and emotions that like run through you. And it's just a joyous, spiritual kind of feeling, you know what I mean? Like unreal, you know what I mean? Or surreal, to put it, you know what I mean?
Right. Because that really became the talk of that game, though, because that went viral.
Yeah, it did. It came very, very viral. Like to this day, like I'm still seeing snippets from different, news editorials and commentators, just chiming in on him wearing it. And, we've had a remarkable year due to that, instance. And, we're very grateful. Shout out Drake, you know what I'm saying, for the love, you know what I mean, and the whole OVO crew, right? And thank you, So, we're most gracious and we're just trying to keep the brand, the momentum going.
Right. Earlier in the interview, you made a comment about you having a friendship with EPMD. So with that being said, man, I wanted to ask you, where did some of the other rappers in the '90s that was wearing your clothing line and helping your clothing line get on the map?
I'd say all the Bad Boys, so Puffy and all the Bad Boy from Uptown Record days to him becoming Bad Boy. A lot of artists on Bad Boy, Jodeci. Oh gosh, it's always hard to remember. A Tribe Called Quest, De La Soul. Tribe was very influential, wearing us in concert. A lot of these artists, performing in my merchandise. The whole hit squad, that being EPMD, DOS Effects, Redman, K Solo, Keith Murray, Onyx, House of Pain, Cypress Hill, KRS One, Chia Lee, Diamond D, UMCs, Organized Confusion, Fushnikins, Snow. Man, there's so many. Freaky Tide, the Lost Boys, Artifacts, Mike Geronimo. There's the Fugees. I can't forget the Fugees. Shout out Lauryn Hill, Wyclef, for sure. They were so influential in my career. Sean Paul. There's so many names that like you. Juicy J now. We got Bryson Tiller now. We have Ty Dolla $ign. Post Malone, most definitely, Most Def was a huge segment to our brand. DOS Effects, and lately we got just the other day a legend in Cool G Rap. I mean, one of my favorites of all time. Shout out Cool G Rap, right? So, there's endless names: Johnny Gill, Montel Jordan, Ron G, Kid Capri, um, uh, Biggie's DJ, Biggie himself, Ron, DJ Drama. Shoot, like I got some people chiming in for me just to give me to remember. Big sneakerhead now, and it's bad of me to forget his name, but he was Biggie's DJ at the time. He was a huge fan of us. Clark Kent, DJ Clark Kent. Yeah, shout out DJ Clark Kent. So there's so many names that we can drop in terms of like being influential in our career and helping us be who we are. We can't just remember the legends, but also the living legends.
I know you got stories for days, man. But if you don't mind, my man, give me a story or two about your experience with some of the rappers you was dealing with.
Okay, one of the coolest ones is Pete Rock and Feel Smooth. Just chilling in the store with CL and him telling me about the Sprite commercial and like just really vibing out with me. You know what I mean? And like just one-on-one setting and just artist to artist and just and black man to black man, just keeping it real. You know what I'm saying? That was like a crazy moment in my store. You know what I mean? Like nobody around and we're just like talking and he's just chilling out. Another time I would say is just many times at EPMD with them on tours, seeing like the life that you could live. You know what I mean? And them showing me as a young black man, like, this is what you can achieve. And this is like, you know what I mean? The highest of heights in terms of like seeing them at sold out shows and, you know what I mean? And me getting like, VIP treatment and, being up and close with them, and them wearing my clothing is just like, again, like to me, like, wow, I can't believe this has really happened to me. You know what I mean? In my life.
Right. Hey, did you ever meet Tupac or no?
Tupac was all through my friends. He was on set. I was busy here in Toronto, so we never got the chance to meet. But I feel that we're spiritually connected to this day. Same birth year and just the same vibe, everything. So I feel like it was a bigger connection than we actually meeting in person.
Right. So, out of curiosity, you being from Canada, what kind of impact did Tupac have down there?
Oh, endless. It's just as big as in America, or at least bigger. We love the culture and we support the culture. We've been in the culture from day one. So Tupac endlessly is has always been the talk of our brand. You know what I mean? And being from Toronto, not just here, like all of North America, right? All of Canada just recognizes us because of Pac wearing us.
I can only imagine, my man. But I gotta ask you this though. You had Tupac wearing your hoodie. You had Drake wearing your hoodie. How many people do you get hitting you up trying to get that same hoodie?
Oh man, over our 29-year span, I would say it's endless, man. It's infinite at this moment. We get it daily, real talk. We get it daily, right? And we're just very, very, very humbled for all the love and support. Even Nipsey, God rest his soul, Nipsey Hussle, he got one and repping us. He was like one of the first artists to really show us love in the new generation of artists, right? To really want to represent us.
Right. Yeah, man. I was on your website earlier checking out your clothing line, and you have a lot of dope stuff, man. And I'm not just saying that because you're on the phone right now, man. You really do have some dope stuff, yo.
Thank you. I appreciate that. We just there's so much, tell everybody, check us out at Instagram, 100 Miles Brand, or on our Facebook, 100 Miles Brand. You get a little bit more of the depth and feel. Our website, 100milesbrand.com, it just gives you kind of, our generics. But when you come to one of our shows, our pop-up shows, you see, a bit more of our brand and what it entails in being 100 miles.
Right, right. So, before I end this interview, my man, what advice will you give an up and coming entrepreneur that's interested in making a clothing line?
I would say two things. Don't get into doing anything if you're not doing it from the heart, right? And the love of it. The next thing I would say is stay determined and stay motivated, right? And let things come to you. Don't be discouraged when you get hard times, right? Because hard times will pass, but you got to overcome, right? And if you're looking for sometimes the support from your friends, it's the strangers that you know that are going to be the ones that will give you that shine.